From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
And the breaking news has just come in that there's been a grenade attack in Shopia, and reports suggest that once again this attack is being targeted at non-locals. And the information that we are getting on the Republic News Alert group is that the terrorists have thrown grenades at laborers, workers in Shopia. As of now, we are hearing about injuries. Ladies and gentlemen, repeated attacks on non-Kashmiris in the Kashmir Valley who are working there. And this is the latest that we have. We'll try and get more details from Zeenat in just a moment. So there's been a grenade attack on non-locals, laborers working in Shopia, continued series of attacks on non-Kashmiris in the Kashmir Valley. And ladies and gentlemen, Kashmiri Hindus and migrants in the valley are living in such fear. They are worried about where the next shot will come from. They're demanding action. They want justice, and they are leaving the valley as soon as they get a chance. Today, Home Minister Amit Shah chaired a key security meeting on this. And while it became clear that terrorists will not be allowed to get away, will there be an operation all out? Let's debate.
While the Home Minister held a high-profile meeting on Kashmir's security, in Kashmir, Hindus have packed their bags, closed their homes and are geared up to leave.
पिछले एक महीने से बहुत दहशत फैला हुआ है, हद से ज़्यादा। हम डॉक्टर के पास भी नहीं जा पा रहे हैं। अगर बच्चा बीमार हो जाता है, हम दवाइयाँ बाहर से ही मंगवाते हैं, लेकिन डॉक्टर के पास जा ही नहीं पा रहे बच्चे को। बहुत ज़्यादा डर है, हद से ज़्यादा।
Protests against the Hindu killing spree have persisted.
हमारे वहाँ से आने के बाद वहाँ पे 3 किलिंग हो गई है। अब देख रहे हो कि हम कितने इनसिक्योर हैं। हम 15 साल वहाँ नौकरी कर रहे थे, लेकिन अब हम वहाँ नौकरी नहीं कर सकते।
वापस कश्मीर नहीं जाएंगे।
वापस कश्मीर जाने का सवाल नहीं पैदा हो सकता है।
There is an atmosphere of fear after migrant worker Dilkush was shot dead yesterday in Budgam.
तो हम इधर बैठे थे, 3 आदमी 4 आदमी उधर बैठे थे, खाना बना रहे थे हम लोग। तो इधर देखा भी 2 आदमी आ रहे हैं। हमने सोचा कोई हमारे को काम के लिए बोलेगा। वो आए, जब चारपाई के पास आए तो सीधा फायरिंग करने शुरू कर दिया उन लोगों ने। 2 फायर लगाया, एक वे दिलखुश के जहाँ दिल पे लगा, एक वे उंगली पे लगा, दूसरे लड़के पे।
देखिए, सामान पूरा पैक हो चुका है। हालांकि परिवार ने कैमरे के सामने आने से मना कर दिया। उन्हें डर है, उन्हें खौफ है, आतंकवादी धमकियां मिल रही हैं और ये परिवार अपना बसाया घर छोड़कर यहाँ से जा रहे हैं। छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं, माँ बाप हैं, घर में बुजुर्ग माता पिता हैं और हालात इतने बदतर हैं कि वो कह रहे हैं कि हम मजदूरी करेंगे, हम भीख मांगेंगे, लेकिन अब हम श्रीनगर में या कश्मीर में नहीं रहेंगे।
And there are some still who refuse to let the terrorists get the upper hand.
कश्मीर घाटी में लगातार आम लोगों को निशाना बनाया जा रहा है। उस बीच कुछ ऐसे लोग भी हैं जो कश्मीर घाटी की ओर अग्रसर है। बात की जाए, कल देर शाम कश्मीर घाटी में आतंकियों की तरफ से एक ईंटों के भट्टे में काम करने वाले जो लोग बाहर से यहाँ पर काम कर रहे थे उनको निशाना बनाया गया। लेकिन कुछ लोग हमारे साथ भी हैं जिनको कि भारतीय सेना पर बहुत ज्यादा भरोसा है, इसलिए ये लोग श्रीनगर जा रहे हैं।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah held a high-level security review meeting in which Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir Manoj Sinha and other officials from J&K took part. In the meeting, it was decided that the Kashmiri Pandit and the Hindu employees working in the Kashmir Valley will be shifted to the safer location in Valley itself rather than being shifted to Jammu.
The Gupkar gang will not call for all-out operations and get on the streets the same way they do for Yasin Malik.
मलिक को भी गिरफ्तार किया गया, उसकी हालत बहुत खराब है, उसको रिहा किया जाना चाहिए इमीडिएटली।
But all-out actions are the only way ahead. A 1990 genocide cannot happen again. Let's debate.
Zeenat is just getting us the breaking input on the grenade attack that has happened on workers in Shopia. Zeenat?
Oh, yes, absolutely, Arnab. There is a grenade attack in the Algar area of Shopia of South Kashmir, where the terrorists hurled a grenade. And in this grenade attack, we are picking that as of now, the 2 injuries are confirmed, but injuries told may go up. And as per the reports that are coming in, again, the non-locals have been targeted by the terrorists in this grenade attack in South Kashmir. We are seeing on the one side that the anti-terror operation has been launched. We are seeing that the terrorists are trapped in the Anantnag of South Kashmir. Meanwhile, we are also witnessing that the terrorists hurled grenade towards the non-locals. They were living at one of the places where the grenade was hurled, and in this grenade attack, as of now, confirmed is that the 2 injuries are there from there, but more injuries are expected. The toll may go up. We are seeing the back-to-back terror attacks in the Kashmir Valley.
So this is,
meanwhile, security
this is only an initial report that you have here. So we are going to come back to you the moment you have an update on this. This is the initial report from Shopia. And clearly, Lalit Ambardar, what is clear to me, welcome Brigadier Anil Gupta, is that the situation on the ground has not changed at all. In fact, people are just losing families, neighbors. The attacks on non-locals are increasing. I know the Home Minister has done a meeting, but Brigadier Anil Gupta, on the ground, what's changed? General Bakshi, nothing's changed.
Arnab,
yes, Brigadier Gupta. Yeah.
The spurt in terror is by design. And it is designed now. The Gupkaris are also part of that. It is the agenda. And we cannot allow their agenda to succeed. We have to now act fast. We have to ensure that the fear which is now being gripped in the civilians, the terrorists must be scared. The fear must come to them. They must feel the hurt. They must feel the pinch, rather than we grieving on the deaths of innocent civilians.
And how can that be done? And I agree with you, but how can that be done? How can that be done?
Tit for tat strategy.
Tit for tat.
We have to follow that.
You mean that's not happening now? No, 1 minute. You're saying that's not happening now, General Bakshi?
I don't think so. We are pussyfooting. We are soft.
Why do
unconventional operations cannot be won through
General Bakshi, Brigadier Gupta says that we are pussyfooting, we are soft. That's been the overall view. And we've seen an attack a day.
Yeah, Arnab, the key issue is where do we go from here? What do we do? Excuse me. Where do we go? What do we do? There have to be 2 components to your counter strategy. To put it in perspective, when I was there were 5,000 armed terrorists in J&K, out of whom 60% were foreign terrorists. Today they are down to 120 to 150. But they have changed their strategy. They are now going for targeted assassinations with pistols, using people who are not on the terror radars, who are not on the terror lists. So they can just do an odd killing and merge with this thing. So there have to be 2 components to your reaction. The offensive component, you have to hit across the line of control. I fail to see why we have given them for the last 2 years plus a ceasefire on the line of control. We facilitated the takeover of Pakistan by the Taliban, the takeover of Afghanistan by the Taliban, by giving them a ceasefire at such a critical juncture. Now they are doing it to us. From where are the pistols coming? Where is the ammunition coming? Where are the Kalashnikovs and the grenades coming? From Pakistan. So the Pakistan is a major part of the problem, and unless you address Pakistan, you hit across the LC, across the IB, like we did the Uri surgical strike, the Balakot attacks, you make Pakistan pay costs and consequences. That is the offensive component of the strategy. Number 2, the defensive component. All of us veterans were crying ourselves hoarse, saying, for God's sake, don't send the Pandits back to the same villages from where they were shot, killed, genocide was committed and they were ethnically cleansed. But the Gupkar gang insisted that they can't go to protected settlements They can't go to gated communities with armed guards. They must go back to the same villages from where they were hounded out. I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? It was just about waiting to happen. Why did we have to listen to the Gupkar gang? Who are they to legislate how the Pandits should go back?
Because there's this sort of a because there is this unfortunate sentiment that is basically a Luttian sentiment. Tuhin, Smita, everyone come in. It's this Luttian's overhang. I would call it a Luttian's hangover, that in Kashmir you will eventually have to talk to the Gupkar gang. And that hangover is the most negative thing that is happening on the ground right now. And the BJP has been, to some extent, become subject to this hangover. There are enough people, Tuhin, who will tell you in Delhi that eventually you will have to work with either Mehbooba or Mufti. Why? Why do you have to eventually work with Omar or Mehbooba? No, Tuhin, I'm telling you, there is no point in claiming to have a tough Kashmir strategy if your strategy does not involve an approach towards the Gupkar gang. I believe, Tuhin, you need to work at 3 levels. 1, absolutely close down Kashmir for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, a year if you want, and clean it up from inside. Secondly, completely delegitimize, isolate, arrest, and keep at bay the Gupkar gang. They behaved themselves when they were inside. You got weak, you brought them out, the Americans put pressure, you called them for meetings. What did you get? You got nothing. You made a horrendous mistake when Ram Madhav facilitated a tie-up with Mehbooba Mufti. It was a horrendous mistake. Horrendous mistake, but you're repeating it all over again. So your security policy and your political policy, Tuhin, has to be in line. Your political policy can't be soft, and you can't then demand to have a hard security policy. Yes, Tuhin, please. And by the way, viewers getting more details of the latest attack in the next 5 minutes. Yes.
Yeah. There is no denying the fact that the duplicity of the Gupkar alliance only bolsters terror organizations, and that is one of the reasons they were completely disbanded for a period of a year and a half after the abrogation of Article 370. But at the end of the day, we wanted the democratic process.
They don't believe in any democratic process. They don't believe in any democratic process. You can have a democratic process without them.
Redundant,
there is no compulsory inclusion of the Gupkar gang in democracy. That is the weak position of your party.
No, these are
what?
Delimitation.
These are what?
Was a big exercise.
These are what? It's like saying, these are what? It's like if somebody says, the Ulfa will have to be part of the mainstream in Assam. They don't have to be. You've got it all wrong in Kashmir, Tuhin. You got it so awfully wrong.
Let me put it this way, Arnab, these political decisions.
You have been swayed.
These political decisions will be taken.
You must understand the depth. You must understand the depth to which this Gupkar gang and their cohorts. You have no idea the depth to which they operate. How much money has been spent? Track 2, track 3, track 4, media, alliances. It's a whole cohort. You have refused. You should have not played gallery to these people.
The limited point
no, people are leaving in Kashmir. What are you doing?
We are completely
People are leaving in Kashmir. There are heartbreaking visuals. What are you doing?
Please try to understand.
Take away the security from the Gupkar gang for 1 week. I'm telling you, just try it out. Tell Omar Abdullah to arrange his private security for 1 week. You see a change in line. I'm telling you. You have no answer.
This is a
Brigadier Anil Gupta is speaking, please. Can the director do his job? 1 second. Anil Gupta is speaking, please. Yeah. I'm telling you the fact.
Wahid Para has come out. There are daily killings. Is it coincidence? I'm also saying that the basic tenet of war fighting is selection and maintenance of aim. We are faltering in that in Kashmir. Our aim should be very clear. Elimination of terror. What we are.
At all costs.
Terror,
at any cost.
Appeasement.
Elimination at any cost. I would repeat, elimination at any cost.
So we are not sticking to that aim. See, our aims keep changing. So how can you win the war on terror? We have to understand this. Our strategy has to be very clear. It is the float of the aim.
No, arrest everyone. And I don't believe in this over-democratic experiment. You know, if tomorrow Ahmad Ayaz, who's on the program, is known to have found some links with the Hurriyat, or, for example, God forbid, if he has some transactions going on there with separatists, then I would say then arrest Ahmad Ayaz. Don't even hesitate. Don't think that arresting him will lead to, you know, a big outcry. You'll be told that you're not democratic enough. You don't need a certificate in democracy from the Gupkar gang. You should arrest him. Ahmad Ayaz, I'm sure you'll agree. You agree, Ahmad Ayaz? We need the Israeli approach. The Israeli approach to the fight against terrorism is the only one which will work.
When you said
as General
about
Bakshi had himself mentioned over here, 95% of the terrorists, known terror organizations stand eliminated.
Yeah, go on, Ahmad Ayaz. Go on.
No, do you see that there had been any let-off by the security forces in their combat against the militancy? And as we have seen on the ground...
Terrorism, say terrorism. What is militancy? What is militancy? What is militancy? Call it terrorism, first of all. Use the right lingo. Use the right lingo.
You call it.
No, I don't call it. You call it. You call it. You call it.
Do you think that it matters in the present...
You call it terrorism first.
Do you think in the present time...
No, you call it terrorism.
Calling it...
No, you call it terrorism.
Okay, Arnab,
no, it makes a big difference. Brigadier Gupta, Lalit Ambadaj makes a big difference. You call it terrorism.
It's not an...
Jihadi terrorism.
You see, it is not an issue if I call it a terrorism and then terrorism is going to be vanished. By my calling terrorism, I don't think it is so.
It is an issue.
Or even by my conducting terrorism and terrorism.
It is an issue, sir.
Then you need to understand.
Then you are not accepting the reality.
Then you are not understand the ground.
You have never condoned the death of the Hindus. Have you ever come on the street? When there was Yassin Malik was arrested, you people called for a call.
Anil Gupta have some shame. Anil Gupta have some shame. You are today calling me to condole. Why don't you condole it? You are the party which said. You are the party which said after abrogation of Article 370, elimination of militancy will be there. Militancy will end. Normalcy will be there. Today you are wanting me to come out and condemn it. Who is there who does not condemn it? Who is there? Anil Gupta, who is there who does not condemn the killings? Is there anyone?
Only on the TV channels. Where is the action in the valley?
You are
Have you come on the street in the valley? You only condemn on the channels, nothing else.
Politics, which is making people to blood. It is your bloody politics. You are
the people who are responsible. You have spoiled the entire atmosphere in the valley. You are double speak. You speak something else on the channel, you speak something else in Kashmir. You mislead the people. You have misled the Kashmiris. You are sympathizer of the Gupkar gang. You have misled the Kashmiris. The Kashmiri, innocent Kashmiris are being led off the garden path.
Ahmad Ayaz, listen. I'll tell you one thing. Ahmad Ayaz, first of all, Sushil, I'm just bringing you. Ahmad Ayaz, the problem with you is.
And you are talking
I'll tell you. Your problem is today, you don't know where you stand. You don't know. Just admit it. You are dead scared of these groups. You are scared.
No, Arnab, just tell me.
Of course you are scared. You are scared. Say I'm scared. Say I don't have the courage to speak up.
What is he talking about?
No, I'm telling you. Say that I'm too scared to speak. Say it.
He should know the people. He should know the condition of the people living. It's a total security scenario in Kashmir where everybody is.
Relax. You're not under threat. You're not under threat. You are not the one under threat. The Kashmiri Hindus are.
It is because of the bad policy.
It has been there for so many years, and you have spoiled the scenario. You are responsible for spoiling the scenario. You are the one who spoiled it.
I mean, nothing left of Kashmir if all Kashmiri Hindus have to leave.
May I come in here? Politics. You will enjoy at the shoulders of the Kashmir. At the bullet of the Kashmir.
Your hands are soaked with the blood of innocent Kashmiris.
It is you. You are dirty politicians. It is the politics which has spoiled the
Both volume of
Kashmir. Shouting politics which has spoiled the Kashmir.
With some facts.
You are always
while we are broadcasting this, there is another threat. Ahmad Ayaz, 1 minute, please. Smita and Sushil, there is another threat which has been issued listen to me. Relax. Let me tell you the situation. You can live in a state where there will not be a single. First of all, don't shout, okay? Don't keep shouting, Ahmad Ayaz. I respect your seniority. I don't shout back at you. But don't shout. It has been said
that you condemn it. What is? I will condemn from morning till evening. I keep on condemning.
I want you to say that those who I want you to say that those who are issuing threats to those who are calling kafirs. There has been another. No. 1 minute. Bring Anil Gupta 1 minute. Bring Gupta 1 minute. Can I have Smita on the left and Lalit 1 second? It says beware kafirs. This is a final warning. Lashkar-e-Islam. This is the group. Every day a new group comes. And it says, beware kafirs. This is a final warning. Leave Kashmir or get killed. Right? One by one, all of you will be killed and sent to hell. Neither Modi or Shah or any other person can save you. And they are using all kinds of religious angles out here, but I'm not getting into that. And it keeps talking about killing them. And he says here, if the Muslims of Kashmir, listen to this, if the Muslims of Kashmir do not remain aloof from the kafirs, they will also be killed. I want you to understand. Do you understand something, Javed Mir, GM Shaheen? What will be left of your state? You will become slaves to these Islamic fundamentalist terrorists who you don't even have the courage to call a terrorist. When you go out on the streets of Srinagar tomorrow, Ahmad Ayaz, you think you will be safe? You will not be safe. Today, Javed Mir may think, GM Shaheen may think, Ashwini Anda may think, ठीक है, इसको politically debate करते हैं. But the state will be finished.
Arnab,
you want all non-Muslims to be.
No. These people, few people who have
you want that kind of situation. You want a Taliban type of situation in Kashmir. You want a Taliban type of situation. There will be no industry, no jobs, no employment, no tourism, nothing. Khatam.
Let Anil Gupta reply.
No, why are you getting angry? Lalit Ambardar is just Smita is here. I'm reading the writing on the wall. You know, Smita, when I read the writing on the wall, people don't like it. I'd like to go to.
Sir.
Okay, Lalit.
Arnab, sir.
Okay, Lalit.
Arnab, sir. You raised a very important point. Hey, sir. Can I? Sir, Arnab, sir. You raised a very important issue. Now that you are keeping quiet, they'll come for you also. I'll give an example. When ISIS goons entered Iraq, the local Sunnis, they welcomed them. They saw they are co-Sunnis, so we'll live together. Because Iraq is majority Shias. After 6 months, they realized these ISIS goons denied them, they prevented them even play carom. Prevented them even sit in chai khanas. After 6 months, these Sunnis of Iraq, they joined Shia militia to fight against ISIS. This is what jihad is all about.
No,
who is fighting whom? Afghanistan.
No, I think the option is.
Kashmir, it is the no. Let me come in that. I say just 1 minute.
Sure.
Yeah. Let me complete. Now, what is the ground reality, Arnab? Ground reality as on today is Kashmir Jihad that began in 1990, which at its advent saw Kashmiri Hindu genocide, beginning of the genocide of Kashmiri Hindus. That is also continuing. Jihad is continuing. Only the form of jihad has evolved into a hybrid war. At the same time, Pakistan remains an epicenter of this bleed India Kashmir jihad. How do we need to react? I heard generals say that we have to target Pakistan. True, but our target and what should be our agenda? To establish dominance, not only to tit for tat. No, we have to establish dominance over our security approach to Kashmir Jihad. It's a military problem. So that is one important. Second thing, simultaneously in Kashmir, we have to recognize what we have on hand in Jihad. Please, you cannot have tourism and Jihad going side by side. You cannot have genocide of Hindus continuing side by side. Establish first of all, Operation All Out. You have to establish dominance within Kashmir.
Lalit, see, I want to bring Smita in. My view is simple. The people of Kashmir should be told quite clearly now that you can't remain spectators. You are either with the security forces or you're with the terrorists. You can't keep complaining. You see, you are living with a problem. The people of Kashmir have a choice. Your apple orchards and your lakes will be ruled by Islamic fundamentalists, terrorists, who will turn Kashmir into a worse version of Afghanistan. That is your option one, Mr. Shaheen.
Very true.
Option two is you can join hands with them. If you want to be a spectator and say, ये देखिए कितना बुरा हो रहा है, how bad things are. अगर ये आपका approach रहेगा, the weak approach of Ahmad Ayaz, where he can't even call a terrorist, he'll call him a militant, then you can go. Your apple orchards, whatever is left will be ruled by the terrorists. No, 1 minute, Mr. Shaheen, let me tell you. Mr. Shaheen, let me complete. Mr. Shaheen, let me complete. You be ready for the Taliban type of governance there. If you want that, it's that one option. Your second option, you completely support the Indian security forces. Stand behind them resolute. ये क्या? आप नजारा देखने आए? आप नजारा देख रहे हैं? वहां पे हर दिन हिंदुओं को मारा जा रहा है, सारे माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स चले जाए, इन्वेस्टमेंट चला जाए, बंद हो जाए, सब कुछ, आप नजारा देखते रहेंगे, आप पोजीशन नहीं लेंगे? ये गुपकार गैंग इन्वेस्टमेंट लाएगा, डेवलपमेंट लाएगी, नौकरी देगी? So I think the people of Kashmir have a choice. इनको डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा, आप सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस को सपोर्ट करना है कि नहीं कर रहे?
Why you had facilitated the
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, now, बोलिए.
Who facilitated Gurna?
Who facilitated क्या? गुपकार गैंग की बात नहीं कर रहा मैं, कह रहा आज की बात हिंदुओं को मारा जा रहा है.
महबूबा, listen. आज की
महबूबा is against India's interest. महबूबा speaks against the country, please.
No.
आप महबूबा की बात मत कीजिए. महबूबा is an opportunist.
Mahbooba, she is enjoying the protocol. She is enjoying the facility given by the government of India.
कौन सी facility?
And Arnab, one more thing.
कौन सी facility? कौन सी facility?
Indian Muslim. You just see, Mahbooba have the bungalow. He have the bungalow to reside. He had the security. He had every kind of facility. She have more than 300 people to secure him. What are you telling me, Arnab?
Why are you asking me? I say remove the security.
400 people, security persons.
I have been saying take away the security for 1 week, she'll fall in line. एक हफ्ते उनसे security निकाल लीजिए ना. You tell her, you change your political line if you want security. You don't speak. मैं Shaheen ji, let me tell you one thing. ये सारे opportunists are all cowards. You tell them one day that Mehbooba Mufti आप पहले guarantee लिख के दीजिए, you will not speak against national security, then you'll get security. वो अपनी line बदल लेंगी. उनको बोलिए ना कि ये ग्रुप से सब सिक्योरिटी ले ले.
Why not? बताएंगे मैं तो बता रहा हूं, withdraw their securities, मैं तो बता रहा हूं. One more thing, second question of mine is, don't challenge the Kashmiri true Indians.
Who is challenging? Who is challenging? Who is challenging? Who is challenging?
Again, yes.
Who is challenging?
On your debate.
What am I challenging? I am saying all Kashmiris must stand fully with the security forces.
In 90s, when there was no Republic TV channel, were you aware of that?
Well, Mr. Shaheen, let me tell you right now, there is a Republic TV channel now, and I'm asking you to take a firm position. And I'm telling you to correct Ahmad Ayaz when he doesn't even call a terrorist a terrorist. Every Hindus are leaving your state. Are you happy about it?
Yes.
Are you happy about it? Are you happy about it?
Very good majority of the people who are the peace loving and they belongs to our country.
There is only in only one part of India today, Hindus cannot even live. They are being targeted every day. What is happening here?
It is not, sir.
You think my position would have changed if it were to be happening in any other state other than Kashmir? My position would be the same. The demography of Kashmir has changed.
I wish Republic was there in 1990. I wish.
But we are saying we are with our country and we are against the terrorism.
If you are against the terrorism, then protest कीजिए, march निकालिए कल सुबह. ये बोलने से नहीं होगा. आप galvanize कीजिए. आप politician हैं.
We are always on.
आप galvanize कीजिए लोगों को. I want Smita to come in. There's no midway now. There's no midway now. There is no midway. There is no midway now.
You are watching only in TV channels, but हमारा तो रोज protest होता है.
The situation is very
extreme. क्या कर रहे हैं वहां पे? क्या कर रहे हैं आपने कभी आपकी आंखों के सामने 5000 साल पुरानी कश्मीर की सिविलाइजेशन एनालाइट होगी, खत्म होगी,
हो रही है,
होगी.
आपने बोला
क्या कर रहे हो आप?
क्या कश्मीर के पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज ने? आपने क्या किया शाहीन साहब? आपने क्या किया? नो, यू टेल मी वन थिंग. आपने पोजीशन ली. आप पोजीशन ऑफ कन्वीनियंस लेना चाहते हैं? आप पोजीशन ऑफ कन्वीनियंस, मिस्टर शाहीन, डोंट टेक अ पोजीशन ऑफ कन्वीनियंस. डोंट टेक अ पोजीशन ऑफ कन्वीनियंस. डोंट टेक अ पोजीशन ऑफ कन्वीनियंस. You have to. No, you can't. No. You know what? You want to take the benefit of the security forces being there and yet not give them your complete support.
अभी आप तक ने क्या किया, sir?
No, not at all. See, as per our country is concerned, listen.
No, I am on that point because I believe. I am on that point, Mr. Shaheen. I am on that point because I believe that when people like you, if all of Kashmir's
ये भी मतलब नहीं है कि ये सर जमीन छोड़ के हम भाग जाएंगे. हम जमीन छोड़कर भाग जाएंगे. ऐसा हो नहीं सकता.
जमीन छोड़कर कौन भाग जा रहा है?
गलतफहमी है.
ये don't talk like that to the Kashmiri Pandits. What do you mean जमीन छोड़कर भाग जाएंगे?
किसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं?
किसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं? जमीन छोड़कर भाग जाने की बात किसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं आप? ये क्या बोल रहे हैं आप? नहीं, जमीन छोड़कर भाग जाने की बात क्यों कर रहे हैं आप? What do you mean by जमीन छोड़कर भाग जाएंगे? कौन जमीन छोड़कर भाग गया? राहुल भट्ट जमीन छोड़कर भाग गया. राहुल भट्ट जमीन छोड़कर भाग गया. ये जमीन छोड़कर भाग जाने की बात मजाक कर रहे हैं आप इसको लेकर, शाहीन जी.
He is mocking genocide of Hindus. आपने you know what were the tools of genocide?
Rape, murder, mass murder. मैं ये बता रहा हूँ कि कश्मीर में जो लोग रहते हैं, they are also true Indians.
आप बात घुमाने की कोशिश मत कीजिए.
कहाँ है सर? कहाँ है इंडियन? कहाँ है इंडियन? आपकी मस्जिदों से नारे लगा के कश्मीरी हिंदू का जिनोसाइड हुआ. कहाँ थे आप? आपकी मस्जिदों से नारे लगाए. यहाँ क्या चलेगा निजाम मुस्तफा?
तो मैं आपको
अरे सर आप बताइए, where are the Hindus who lived in your neighborhood? Where are the Hindus who lived in your neighborhood? आप बताइए, आपके पड़ोस में कश्मीरी हिंदू थे, आपने उनके साथ क्या किया उनके साथ? कहाँ है वो? मुसलमान इसलिए मरता है क्योंकि आप जैसे लोग उनको कवर करते हैं. मुसलमान इसलिए मरता है क्योंकि वो उसको भी काफिर मानते हैं. आप मुझे बताइए लेफ्टिनेंट फयाज जब मरता है ना, वो राष्ट्र के लिए मरता, वो देश के लिए मरता है. वो बोलता है कि मेरा इस्लाम धर्म है लेकिन राष्ट्र मेरा हिंदुस्तान है.
आपने
उसके साथ क्या किया?
लेफ्टिनेंट फयाज मुसलमान नहीं था?
यही बता रहा हूं मैं.
आप इसको एक साइड कहानी नहीं ले चाहिए. डोंट.
इसलिए
आप खाली बता रहे हो कि हिंदू मारे जा रहे हैं.
मुसलमान है इसलिए मारा गया क्योंकि उसको मुसलमान नहीं समझते हैं जिहादी. अरे सर,
is also on the debate. Very clear. No, my position is absolutely clear. No, my position is absolutely clear, and I will say it again. Unless, one minute. I'll just let me get in 4 people who haven't spoken. Let me get in Touheen and Smita on one side, and let me get in Ashwini Handa and Javed Mir on the other. And my position is clear that unless you treat the OGW as a terrorist, ये जो phrase है ना, overground worker. 1 minute. I am told it's a laughable concept. Overground worker almost makes it sound like an NGO. You are a OGW of Lashkar-e-Toiba. What is overground worker? Is it some kind of a special accreditation we are giving them? OGW of Jaish-e-Mohammed, OGW of Al-Badr, OGW of TRF. If you can kill the terrorists, you should kill the OGWs. Simple. The moment the OGWs get killed, the terrorists will run, and the moment the terrorists know that they won't get support of OGWs, they also will be killed. Simple. That has to be the approach. The moment I say this, people say, oh, this is a very right-wing approach. It's not very democratic. Is the Al-Badr democratic, Smita and Tuhin? Is the Jaish-e-Mohammed democratic? Is the Lashkar-e-Toiba democratic? And for how long will we be told, no, you are democratic? You should have a democratic approach towards OGWs. I say you change your approach. If we had changed our approach, Smita versus Yasin Malik, things would have been different years back. Tuhin, yeah, Smita, I want to bring you into the debate, please.
Arnab.
Yeah, Smita.
Yeah. Who should?
Smita.
Okay. So I've heard everybody, and again it becomes extremely volatile. So I'll just restrict myself to these incidents which are happening, these targeted incidents. What we have heard from security experts in background information which was given to us is that these are all these targeted killings have been done to jeopardize the Amarnath Yatra. There is no way that they want the Amarnath Yatra to happen successfully, and that is why this is happening, and this is not part of the jihad element. That is what security experts are saying. Now,
but how do you buy that line? I mean, how is it not part of the jihad? How do we separate the two? How do we separate the two? It's not, doesn't make
What am I saying? Did I say that I'm buying the line or not? Am I saying I'm buying the line? I'm just telling you that this is what security experts are saying. Now, if you have better intelligence than security experts who are on the ground, good enough, you can spout that. But all I'm trying to say to you is that this is what is the report that we are hearing, is that this is not part of the whole jihadi exercise. This is part of targeted killing, so that there is an exodus, there is a panic created, and once there is an exodus and panic, then the next action would be that let's not hold the Amarnath Yatra, and that would be a huge victory by not holding the Amarnath Yatra and having the Pandits leave again. I think there are solutions to it. It requires a bold and it requires a tenacious hold to go ahead and make those enclaves, make sure that those Pandits who have been settled there, they don't ghettoize. They don't live in the deplorable conditions that they've been living. They should be kept out there. And why only 3,000 families? Take 10,000 families. Go and keep them out there, put them in those enclaves, give them security.
Why would
right
they go?
now, why are they sitting
Why would
ducks?
They go?
Because they
why
have to
would
go
they
about
go?
doing
You have
their
to,
daily
no,
work,
but
and they are just sitting in isolated areas.
Yeah, but Smita, I want GD Bakshi to just analyze what is being given, because while I believe that this is the information that you are being given by security experts and the analysis you are being given, I think the fundamentals don't change. I think it's facile if anyone says that these attacks which are being done on Hindus are not being carried out with the jihadi mindset. It is 100% with the jihadi mindset. Targeted killings of Hindus and workers is part of the same issue. Now, second part is, of course, the Amarnath Yatra has to have massive security, but I don't see any link between the two.
I'm not saying jihadi mindset. I'm just saying it's not jihadi mindset. No, Arnab, if I may say, these are what the security experts are saying, that these are lone wolf attacks. They are not part of the JEM or Al-Badr. Yes, Al-Badr tactics are being used. Al-Badr used it in 1971, attacking intellectuals in East Pakistan. We have discussed this before, that they eliminated hundreds and hundreds of intellectuals, laborers. All this was done, teachers and things. Now that's what is being done.
I don't know.
They
but
are
many
using the
people,
same tactics.
No, but many people also tell me that the mistakes of the 1990s genocide had begun at that point of time when Rajiv Gandhi struck a deal with Farooq Abdullah, reinstated him as chief minister, and in the initial period, unfortunately, the same approach had happened where people had said, these attacks, they are not part of targeted attacks, these are lone wolf attacks, there's a few bad, mad people who are doing this, and then suddenly one day, the Indian government released terrorists in exchange for Ubaya Saeed, and we realized the situation has gone out of hand. So this was then also said by security forces that these are lone wolf attacks, individual attacks. It is part of a plan. It was orchestrated, then it's orchestrated now.
And who rectified that?
Pardon
who
me?
Rectified that? Tell me.
Pardon
Tell me, Arnab, Rubaya Saeed kidnapping charges are being framed now, 31 years later. You had Mehbooba Mufti sitting in as chief minister, not solving the case of her own sister's kidnapping. So who's to blame? 31 years it has taken of the abduction, and even now it is at an evidence stage, if I may say. So let's not blame even one person right now. You have 30 years.
No. What I'm saying to you is, just 1 minute, please. You know, okay, since you're asking me, I'll give you an answer. I felt that, you know, why I keep questioning the BJP on this is because the BJP must understand those who are, you know, wolf in sheep's clothing. It is Mufti Muhammad Saeed who was instigating the anti-Hindu violence in Anantnag in 1986. And then the same man became the Home Minister of India. So he was the man who compromised everything. Now to deal with these forces, these are the subterranean forces, Meeta. They always operate. Inko isolate karna padega, inko khatam karna padega. You have to isolate them completely. Otherwise we are going to go back to the 1990s. But General Bakshi wanted to come in. General Bakshi.
You know, that's an interesting argument that has been put forth. But may I point out to you, with about almost half my service life spent in J&K, you know, exactly the same orchestration. These are lone wolf attacks. So that means they don't have to be countered. What is the end result of that lone wolf attack? An exodus a la 1990. That was being done by the JKLF. This is being done by another set of people, and they are trying not to get identified, right? But that does not change the fact that you have to act against them. You have to adjust your operating methodology so that you don't react. You preempt. You stop these killings before they happen. We can't rub our hands and, you know, wring our hands in despair. 120, 150.
I'm saying we adopt the Israel model.
From the valley.
I'm saying we adopt the Israel model, simply I'll tell you, if you implement the Israel model, Javed Mir, Ashwini Handa, you must have faith that we have to have the same kind of Israel's highly regarded quote-unquote deterrence operations, which maintain a balance between flexibility and a massive response while conductive operations. Right, that Israel-minded approach. And you must have faith, Javed, that will work. If you want the secular character of Kashmir to stay at all, otherwise you want Kashmir to change. If you have an Israel approach, you know how Israel took out Hamas leaders who operated from outside Israel, you have to have that kind of approach, everything will be fine. If it is not that approach, then Kashmir will become another Afghanistan. What would you choose, Javed and Ashwini Handa? What would you choose?
Yes, Arnab. First of all, I would like to thank you for providing this and allowing me to speak here today. The thing I was listening keenly from last 30 minutes.
Video.
Everybody was talking about the Gupkar gang. There are 2 to 3 or 4 parties in the Gupkar, namely PDP, NC, and others. It was NC in 1987. The election rigging because of the militancy was started, and in 1998, it was NC who formed the government with BJP in the center, and Umar Abdullah was the cabinet minister at that very moment. Central minister in that very moment. And again, in 2016...
No, sorry, Javed, I'm not getting your video for a minute. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
I'm just trying to fix your video. Your video is not on the screen. But please, you know, we're talking of a very serious situation right now. We can keep analyzing it.
Hello.
The fact of the matter is, Ashwini Handa, can I have you back along with Ahmed Ayaz on the screen, please? The fact is, Hindus are being targeted and killed every day. Well, let's talk of the immediate situation. I don't want to do too much academic analysis here, Ashwini. We are talking about the character and nature and existence of Kashmir in its present form. Yeah. Yes.
अर्नब, जिस तरीके से ये आतंकवादी गतिविधियां हो रही हैं और मारा जा रहा है हिंदू लोगों को और गैर कश्मीरियों को, यस,
हाँ बोलिए।
और आज एक बहुत उम्मीद थी कश्मीरी पंडितों को, जो कश्मीरी पंडित कर्मचारी थे उनको ये बहुत बड़ी उम्मीद थी कि गृह मंत्रालय जो है वो आज कोई ना कोई इस पे इसका अकाउंटेबिलिटी फिक्स करेगा और पूरे देश को बताएगा कि हाँ कश्मीर में अगला स्टेप क्या होगा, लेकिन ऐसा कोई देखने को नहीं मिला। जिस तरीके से पिछले
आप एक दिन में क्या देखना चाहते हैं?
चाय पे चर्चा, उसके बाद पाकिस्तान के बाद संवेदनाएं के बाद चेतावनी, और चेतावनियों से आगे आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी नहीं बढ़ पाई है। और आपका सवाल यह कि एक हफ्ते के लिए उमर अब्दुल्ला या फारूक अब्दुल्ला साहब की सिक्योरिटी हटा दो, मैं पूछना चाहता हूं कि आज सिक्योरिटी का क्राइटेरिया क्या है? क्या उन लोगों को सिक्योरिटी मिलनी चाहिए जो लोग इस तरह से अपने सीने पे गोली खा रहे हैं, या उन लोगों को सिक्योरिटी मिलनी चाहिए जो कश्मीर फाइल जैसी फिल्म बनाते हैं और उनको सरकार सिक्योरिटी प्रोवाइड कराती है? प्रायोरिटी कौन है? ये आज सरकार से पूछना बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है कि जो लोग अपनी मातृभूमि की सेवा के लिए कश्मीर जाते हैं और देश की एकता और अखंडता के लिए अपनी जान गंवा देते हैं, या उन लोगों को जो कश्मीर फाइल बनाकर देश के अंदर आतंकवाद फैला रहे हैं?
I want Tuhin to respond. एक दिन में आप रेस्पॉन्स नहीं देखेंगे। एक दिन में रेस्पॉन्स संभव नहीं है, पर तुहिन रेस्पॉन्ड करेंगे। तुहिन,
अर्नब, the way things stand today, we don't have an option but to make it a decisive and conclusive war, which you will see post today's meeting, which the Home Minister had, the Honorable Home Minister had with the Kashmir administration and security agencies. You will see that unfolding in the days to come, and I can tell you that the brutalization of the remaining 120 terrorists. On your show, General Bakshi has just mentioned that from 5,000 that number has come down to 120. But the newer challenge today is the hybrid terrorists who are difficult to identify. It's to an extent it becomes like the gun firing situation in US, but all of that will be met with brutalization in the days to come. Jihadi mindset is the prime culprit, and that will be eradicated from the valley. That is a commitment we are giving to the people of Kashmir.
जिस मुखिया का ये कर्तव्य होता है कि वो सुरक्षा प्रदान करे, वही ये कहे।
आप किसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं?
कि कश्मीर के अंदर
आप किसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं? आप किसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं? आप बताइए किसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं आप?
मैं एलजी साहब के बारे में बोल रहा हूं कि एलजी साहब की रिस्पांसिबिलिटी है कि इन लोगों को सुरक्षा मुहैया करवाए, लेकिन उनका यह कहना कि परछाई से भी डर लगता है, परछाई और हर किसी को सुरक्षा नहीं मिल जाती, ये सबसे बड़ा नाकामी और सरकार की
अश्विनी जी, अगर मुझे कोई गलतफहमी नहीं है, आप उसी कांग्रेस पार्टी के प्रवक्ता हैं जिन्होंने मुफ्ती मोहम्मद सईद को डबल प्रमोशन देते हुए केंद्र में यूनियन टूरिज्म मंत्री बनाई थी, जब उन्होंने एंटी हिंदू सेंटिमेंट फैलाने की पूरी कोशिश की 1986 में। उसके बाद सुशील पंडित भी आपको बताएंगे कि आपने उन्हीं मुफ्ती मोहम्मद सईद को केंद्र के मंत्री का डबल प्रमोशन आपने दिया था। तो कश्मीर में जो हो रहा है और इन गुपकार गैंग को बढ़ावा देने में, इनको चढ़ाने में आपकी बहुत भागीदारी रही है भाई साहब, आपकी बहुत भागीदारी रही है। मैं आपको कह रहा हूं आज सुशील पंडित जी, नहीं सुशील पंडित,
मुफ्ती साहब ये कहते हैं
तो आप इधर उधर की बात मत करिए।
प्रधानमंत्री की जी के स्टेज का शेयर करते हुए बड़ी शर्म की बात है आज कि आज देश के अंदर इस तरह की
सुशील पंडित
हैं जो ये कहते हैं कि हुर्रियत का शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं, स्टेज पर प्रधानमंत्री मुख्यमंत्री के साथ इतना साहस नहीं हुआ है।
Part of this shouting match.
One minute, Sushil.
Congress is a new Muslim league, and I have no expectations left of them. You were right in saying that we will have to adopt the Israeli model, but for that we have to have marbles. You do not become Netanyahu by hugging Netanyahu. You have to have that spirit.
Sushil, please continue. अरे भाई सुशील, please continue.
You have to put his fader down. Yeah. What I was saying is that while Israeli model is very inspiring, but you do not become Netanyahu by merely hugging Netanyahu. You have to have a certain value system and commitment. You have to have the marbles. If 370 is your last step and not the first step, then good luck to you.
No, the question here will be that abrogation.
Arnab,
No, I find
Hurriyat is still not banned. Jamaat-e-Islami is still operating freely despite the ban. What are you doing in Kashmir?
Okay,
Can you imagine? Ahle Hadith is the mothership of Lashkar-e-Taiba, and it is a legitimate organization running hundreds of institutions in Kashmir. They are distributing pistols like Prasad. What do you expect?
No, I think the question should equally be asked to the other side here, and I'd get in Smita also in along with you, Smita and Tuhin. Question being, Ahmad Ayaz, you got very angry when I asked you a few straight questions at the start. You blame everything to the abrogation of Article 370. How are the killings which are going on now, can you tell Smita, linked to the abrogation of Article 370? By blaming the abrogation of Article 370 for everything now.
No, I did not. No.
You tell, because you blame everything for Article of 370.
You are putting words in our mouth. No.
How am I?
Arnab, you are very trained and technical to put your words in our mouth.
No.
I never blamed 370. What I said is that it was BJP who said that this is the only reason Kashmir militancy is increasing and we are not in a position to normalize Kashmir.
No.
That is why I asked the BJP person that instead telling me today that you come on the street and fight the gun, what is that you have done? You have promised people. That's one. Second is what has been learned for last 32 years. Have we not learned how to deal with the situation? The other day, BJP president.
No, I am asking you. 1 minute. Let's settle this. No. If today, because you have on all my programs since in the last few months blamed everything on the Kashmir policy of the government. Yes, I believe the policy must be tougher. But my question will be, Smita, that if today removing the special status that allowed Jammu and Kashmir to have its own flag and a constitution is used as a justification for terror, then what next? What next? That's what...
Yes. To BJP, that looked to be the last.
No, because you have
been... Then
what next really...
Not normalized. What is the next now?
No, because...
Look, Look, as far as Kashmir is concerned, the peace, there is, whether it is Naya Kashmir or Purana Kashmir, the fact is that peace is very, very tenuous, and to keep that peace alive is extremely hard for any government in the past 30 years. And like for example, let me just say this, just a couple, I think last week it was, in the Bitta karate case in Srinagar, this man has admitted to killing over a dozen Pandits. Case adjourned. Why? Because both petitioner and counsel didn't appear, fearing security. Do you blame them? So, where is one to go? The Rubaiya Saeed case, which I just pointed out. The point is, legally, you can't go anywhere. And as far as administratively is concerned, you keep talking about the Israeli model. It sounds very good. We should have the Israeli model. Do you know that there is an America standing behind Israel for Israel to do what it does? Look at us. We have China breathing down our neck. We have America not really willing to help us, beating us down. There is Europe, which is telling us, first break up with Russia. The entire world wants us in their lap. But they are not willing to do anything to help us with regard to Kashmir, with regard to Pakistan, with regard to China. First, we have to break ties with various things, go down the path. It's very easy to say, let's do Israel. It's very simplistic way to go about it. Unfortunately, there is no easy solution when it comes to Kashmir. And everybody has to be taken on board. There are several experts who have to be consulted. And if I was right now in the position of Amit Shah, I'd be extremely under pressure, because it is very, very difficult to find a solution for this terror problem.
Sure.
But when 370 was abrogated and
Javed,
BJP asked that everything is normal here.
Yes, Javed.
Jammu and Kashmir and
Javed.
peace is...
One
minute, let me hear that.
In Jammu and Kashmir.
No, Javed, what's your problem with 370? Why do you keep talking about it? Are Hindus being targeted because Jammu and Kashmir is now under the Indian...
Not only Hindus, Arnab, not only Hindus are being targeted, also Muslims are being targeted.
No, primarily Hindus are being targeted and non-Kashmiris are being targeted.
A police constable was on leave and was standing outside his home and was killed by terrorists. So not only Hindus are being killed in Jammu and Kashmir.
No, it's very
also
simple,
Muslims are being killed.
Arnab,
also Muslims are being targeted.
It's very clear that they perennially wanted Kashmir to remain the ghetto which they had reduced it over the last 35 years. Article 370, removal of Article 370 was an important milestone. We were on the path to recovery, and the same people who did not want things to change are behind it. But let me tell you this, our biggest learning from these spate of killings is that eliminating terrorists is not enough. Till the time the last bit of jihadi mindset remains, these activities might take place, and from today, I'm sure a lot of things have been decided in today's meeting, which you will
I think so. They will.
in the days to come.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt there will be. I have no doubt there will be, and I have been told. I've been told that there will be a. But I agree with the point here that there needs to be complete security for the Amarnath Yatra. The point that Smita made, that is a point of great concern. But I think there'll have to be a tougher political policy as well to isolate these groups which provide cover as OGWs. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. And don't forget, tomorrow over the weekend, our special look is at the agency's action and whether there are real grounds to each of the cases the agencies are looking at, or whether they can be dismissed only as vendetta. That's this weekend. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.